What's good, y'all? I hope y'all day going good. My day was pretty chill. I worked, and now, I'm talking to y'all, so I hope y'all doing good. But, when it all comes down to it, lust or love, you know? And, and that's what you gotta ask yourself when it comes to these relationships. Is it lust or love? And something I realized, like, over the years, of me, like, dating females and being in relationships, and I haven't been in a lot. I would say I only been in two relationships. um but when that all comes down to it, the girl you really want, you're not going to lust over. you know you're not trying to quickly take her to bed. You're not trying to quickly, you're just not trying to do anything sexual at all. Um when you truly love her, you're willing to wait. You're willing to get to really know her. You're willing to become friends, build chemistry, gain an understanding of her past, her life history. Um, and that's how it is. When you're really in love, you're not going to have a sense of sexual desires, because you truly love this person, you truly like them. You're going to be so eager to know more about them. Um, Take them places to eat, travel. And me personally, I feel like trips always bring out the true character of people, because everybody can't go everywhere, but just certain environments, you really see how people are. And just think about that. Um, am I lusting or truly loving her? Because it always come down to those two. And honestly, like, I struggle with lust plenty of times. Um, and I'm still struggling with it. I'm currently like celibate right now. I haven't did anything in more than 6 months. You know what I'm saying? So, and I feel way better. I feel like I got clarity in my mind. I feel like I'm more hungry to work towards. I feel more confident. And then overall, I'm not no soul tied. Back then, I felt good. Being with, talking to multiple females, this and that. But at some age, or it take a mindset. It's a mentality thing. It's not really an age thing, but you have to want to stop. And I just caught myself one day like, I can't do this no more. It was times, even times now, I'm tempted to do that, but I don't. I don't want to talk to many, a bunch of females. And currently, like right now in my life, I'm currently not talking to any. Um, I feel like relationships nowadays are all played out. Too much playing around going on, Too much using, too much ego, too much, just too much, It's all fake for me. And I just don't have the time for it. So it's like, I may see an attractive female out and I won't even say nothing, I won't even approach her. Because I'm just at a point now where it's just like, I just don't want to, I don't have time to waste. And that's just all it comes down to. I feel like I wasted enough time, chasing and just playing a game, just to see like, wow, you know, just to see like, how can I say it, like more like this is it, because a lot of people really don't have much to offer. Not a lot, but people that we tend to chase, or they make it hard, or not even that, just they put you through a lot just for them to waste your time, and to me, I just think it's all unnecessary, and that's why I say it come down to love or lust. And I want to be ready when I come across that person in my life. I want to be mentally ready. I want to be, and also physically ready, because they're not going to be perfect, I feel like as you continue to grow and live, you're always going to have flaws, but you have to be willing to change, and that's just how it is. You evolve, you adjust, because life has its turns. Some days it's good, some days it's bad. It just ups and downs. But I would want her to like fully understand me, um, and mainly when I'm quiet, because I go quiet a lot. And you know, if she could understand that, I think everything will be okay. I just need time to myself a lot, and that's what I say right now. I'm just really doing me right now. No females though, no phone calls, just working and trying to reach my goals. And yes, it's lonely. Nighttime, you start thinking about sending that text, hey, what you doing, But, I remind myself the ending, what is all this going to come to? Because when there's something temporary, it eventually comes to an end. It always got a point of, something happening to make everything stop going how it used to be. And something I told somebody was, you have to be quick and you have to be willing to walk away when you see the red flags. Don't focus on the potential of that person. Focus on what they're showing you daily, because when you see some weird stuff going on. And that's where the overthinking came in, of not wanting to make a decision that you need to make. And you overthink it because it's like, well, I peep her acting like this, but should I continuously? And then you start overthinking. I'm going to keep talking to her, but what if? Or, I may take her on a date, but what if? And, when you peep the red flags, walk away, And this isn't just for guys, females as well, If you see a red flag in a guy, walk away. You have to care about your peace so much that you're willing to cut someone off, even if they, just made a simple mistake, because we don't have time to waste, And to me, I feel like people know what they're doing. And if something is a mistake, we need communication before the mistake happens. So I can be prepared that you're going to make a mistake, or be able to talk about that mistake. And that's why I say, going into 2026, I don't want to waste my time. And I definitely don't want to lust over no female. And I definitely don't want to play the games that are being played out here. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to have a bunch of girls. I just don't want none of that right now. I think I want a sense of peace and more of prosperity in my life, more elevation, quiet elevation, but loud peace. And that's overall it. I just want y'all to think about that. It always comes down to love or lust. And the red flags are always there. If that person isn't willing to cut someone off for you to be the main focus, then I don't think that person is fully ready. A relationship and even marriage is a whole different ball game. This is eternity we talking about. This isn't just no papers. And something I notice about relationships is that when you get in them, the woman end up becoming a reflection of you, because she tend to start picking up your habits, picking up your slang, your jokes, sometimes even the way you dress. But it's like they become a reflection, and then you start seeing how she act, and then it make you look at yourself like, wow, I need to stop doing that. That's something I noticed. I don't know if y'all ever been through that, but let me know. But one time my ex had became a reflection of me, and she was doing things that I do, and I peeped it, and it was just like, wow, I need to, I need to relax, I need to stop doing this or that. But overall, just focus on love or lust. Lust is, it want to do everything quickly. It want to rush. It want to get straight to the point. But love is willing to wait, it's patient. It can endure, hard times. It's kind. Um, it just, you see the difference. But lust is mainly a rushing thing. Things is moving too fast, and it just never ends well, It feels good, but it leads to disaster. And I think about that when it comes to being in a relationship, or just even wanting to talk to somebody sometimes. What will it come down to? Love or lust? And I be having to make the hard decisions, but I save myself a peace of mind. Um, I save myself my confidence, because sometimes they can shoot down your confidence by just not texting back or leaving you undelivered, knowing that everyone in this generation has their phone in their hands 24/7, unless it's time for work or you're doing something productive. And, overall, think about that. We don't have no time to waste, so it's either love or lust. I see y'all.